Welcome to this video on how to spend 3 awesome days in Cambodia. We're going to give you a breakdown of all our costs, what we spent on what, and take you day by day to the places that we visited, so you can get the best of your 3 days when visiting Cambodia. As well as being informative and hopefully not too boring, we're just normal people like you. We're not robotic AI voices or people trying to sell you something every 5 minutes. So thank you for coming along on this journey with us as we head now into Phnom Penh International Airport, which is the capital airport of Cambodia. When arriving in Cambodia, you are required to fill out a visa entry form and pay $36 to enter the country, so it may be worth doing that before you come to save you the hassle of waiting in the queues. Don't be too shocked if you're not greeted with the friendliest of faces on arrival. The staff in our experience came across a little bit forceful and were trying to rush us through. And maybe that was just because when we come it was busy and they were hosting the SEA Games, which is the Asian Olympics. When you head out the airport, expect to be hassled by people trying to offer you taxis. They can be quite persistent, but don't feel pressured to go with these people. We found that there was no better way to travel around Cambodia other than using a tuk-tuk. We've got our taxi. Although conventional taxis are good with air conditioning, there is something strangely satisfying about travelling around on these machines. Safe enough. Make sure you negotiate with your driver before going somewhere, and that's another thing I need to mention, is that they have dual currency in Cambodia. They use US dollars and Cambodian riel. So if you do pay in US dollars, you can expect to get your change in riel, which is quite common. And typically a ride from the airport to the inside of the city shouldn't cost you more than $6. And we found that the tuk-tuk drivers were fair in the pricing. They weren't trying to scam you, there were just that many of them, they were just hassling you because they needed the work. But once you're in the tuk-tuk, nothing's a hassle for them. They'll take you and drop you off anywhere that you want to go. It's worth buying internet on your phone before coming here or getting a package when you land, because as you will see, our taxi driver didn't have a clue where our hotel was and we had to stop and ask for directions on a couple of occasions. So being able to access Google Maps or whatever maps or translate apps you use will come in handy. Fang does a very good job at organising. She looks after all the budget hotels and things like that. All I have to do is rock up, take a few videos and stick it up on YouTube. Ta-da! And I'll give you a couple of little facts about Cambodia now, which is something that you may or may not know. And that's Cambodia's flag is the only one in the world with a building on it. And also, Cambodian weddings go on for 3 days. We are staying at this hotel, which is called the Pavilion, and it's a little oasis within the city. It has free Wi-Fi and breakfasts included. The rooms are very spacious with a good-sized bathroom and the air conditioning's excellent. As you arrive, they give you a nice cold towel and a refreshing drink, which is a nice touch.
It's nice and cold, isn't it? A welcome drink.
The staff can speak good English and nothing's too much trouble for them. There's 2 pools at the hotel, one at the front and one around the back, and we'll go for a little dip in the pool later, but for now we were starting to feel a bit hungry, so we headed out for something to eat and came across this restaurant, which was only a short walk from the hotel. It's called the Loft Bistro and has a nice friendly atmosphere with lots of seating areas and big comfortable seats where you can dine with a reasonable menu too. There was a section on green teas which was impressive, showing you all the different health benefits it could have. And after a long morning travelling, I opted for the Korean Mystic Green with the health benefits of improved brain function and fat loss, which I thought would be a good one to try. And it was very nice too, although I'm still waiting for the improved brain function and effects to kick in. To the meal, Fang got the chicken soup with rice, fried sausage and mushroom sauce, and I got the chicken porridge, which tasted really good with little shavings of ginger and the spring onions that they put on top. And the meal was very reasonable, and although we paid for the meal in US dollars, they gave us the change in real, which is that money on the screen now that makes you feel rich because of all the zeros on the end. Stomachs full, we decided to go and have a look around the area. Just a short walk from the restaurant, we came across this place, which is called Wat Botum Park. And on your screen, you'll see a golden stupa, which was erected to commemorate the 16 people who were killed in a grenade terror attack. This is a nice green park. You can see it's been well kept and watered. It's a nice place to walk, and it's got public toilets as well. And this fountain. There's other things to see here as well, as the Cambodian-Vietnam Friendship Monument that was built in the late 70s. And I'm not going to go into all the information about that here. There's no shortage of information about this on the internet if you want to find out more. It's apparently a good place to come in the evening as well, when it's a little bit cooler, not like when we went in the afternoon when the temperature was hitting about 37 degrees. But don't worry, there's lots of convenience stores where you can go and grab a drink to cool off, and some have seats outside where you can sit and relax, drink your drink and plan where you're going to go next. Which for us is going to look at some plastic surgery for Fang. Have to get a bit of work done.
Look better?
As cheap as what it costs for cosmetic surgery in Cambodia, do your research before coming. And a good place to visit when coming here is the place that we're walking into now, and that's the Royal Palace of Cambodia. To get into the palace, it will cost you $10 US per person, and if you want to hire a guide, that'll cost you $20 US per group. So if you're a solo traveller, it might be worth trying to join another group if you can.
So before we get in,
So it's okay, this is our guide.
Yeah.
This is
Sivan. Show guide here. So we will show you around the palace first.
okay.
We show you the throne hall where the king lives, and then we go to the silver temple.
This royal palace, as you will see, is a complex of buildings and is the royal residence of the King of Cambodia. Siobhan did tell me which building it was that the king lives in, and if my memory serves me correctly, I'll point that building out on the screen for you now. And in front of the king's residence is this impressive building called the Throne Hall, and was one of a few buildings that we weren't allowed to take pictures or videos inside. The king still uses this place to hold meetings for guests as well as religious and royal ceremonies. The palace is open from 8 in the morning until 11 in the morning, and then from 2 in the afternoon until 5. So don't come between 2 and 5 basically, because you won't get in. The palace was constructed between 1866 and 1870, and the architecture on these buildings, as you can see, is characteristic of Cambodia with the complex stylistic elements. Each building has its own name, as well as these gates, which are called the Victory Gates. There's a lot of history here, as you'd expect, and far too much for me to talk about in this video, so we shall keep it brief. However, I will provide you with some basic information about the palace and show you a few of the different locations in the ground, as well as try to pronounce this building for you, which is the Pochani Pavilion. I'll put the name on the screen, which was built in 1912. And the building in front we are going to have a look inside of now. This was one of those rare buildings we were able to go in, and it shows you the history of the traditional dress. And speaking of dress, it's a good time to mention that there's a strict dress code here at the palace as well, which is basically you need to cover your knees and your shoulders. That building is the Silver Pagoda, which is one of the highlights of visiting here because you get to go inside and see the huge amount of diamonds, gold and silver. Although it was another place where we weren't allowed to record, so I can't show you any footage from inside there, unfortunately. However, I can show you this model temple of the Temples of Angkor, which is famous here in Cambodia. And we're planning on coming back to Cambodia to see these temples in the future, maybe with Darren Kwan, who you might know from the videos that we did in South Korea. Around the Silver Pagoda on the walls are all these murals of Rimka. And Rimka's a Cambodian poem based on Sanskrit that shows the balance of good and evil in the world. We're coming to the end of the tour of the palace now. The only other things to show you are the stupas here. This stupa houses the remains of the 20th century Cambodian king, and pardon my pronunciation on this, but it's Norodom Sihanouk. I'll put the name on the screen. And a stupa is basically a Buddhist shrine, and this stupa is for the late king's beloved daughter we just saw, Princess Kantha Bopha, who died of leukemia at the age of 4 in 1952. That concludes the tour of the Royal Palace for you here in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and we shall exit to the Cambodian equivalent of Simon and Garfunkel playing us out as we go and grab a drink to cool off and get to learn how to say hello in Cambodian with the help of these friendly staff that work here.
How do we say in Cambodian? Sosodai? Sosodai. So just stopped for a quick coffee because it's about 40 degrees. Sweating. What have you got?
Latte.
Ice latte.
Yeah.
And an ice latte, it'd set you back 6,000 real. And I'll convert that onto the screen into different currencies for you now.
See you in the next video.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah. Good, we have a local guide too. Good information for us.
There's a lot more to Cambodia than meets the eye. It has a multitude of tourist attractions to keep you both entertained and excited. There's places and things to do here to suit all your needs and requirements. And we're going for a walk to another popular tourist place here in Phnom Penh, which is the National Museum of Cambodia. It's just a short walk from the palace, and you go to the end of the street and turn left, where you carry on walking and you will see a sign which you need to make a decision.
Can I have a go that way? Oh, that way.
Luckily, we turned right, which was the right way to the museum. Although, unluckily for us, it was closed and we couldn't go in.
Now close.
Oh, it's closed.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow.
Okay.
Museum closed, we jumped into a tuk-tuk to take us back to the hotel.
Two, please. I'm from Thailand and he's from England.
You from Thailand?
Yes, I'm from Thailand.
Little did we know at this point what a stroke of luck had just happened by jumping into this tuk-tuk, because as if by magic, the driver gave us some ideas of what we could do tomorrow. He handed us a bit of cardboard with all the tours that he could take us on, and although firing a rocket launcher did catch my eye, I knew that Fang wouldn't be interested in that. So we both decided to go on the city tour, barring the Royal Palace, because we'd just been there, and that gave us a chance to get to know our driver a little bit more too.
What's your name?
Savon.
Savon.
Yes.
And this is going to be our taxi driver tomorrow, taking us to these
National
places.
Museum, Wat Phnom, Tuaslang Museum, and
So we
Phill.
shall see you in the morning at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
That was day 2 of our trip in Cambodia sorted, which left only one thing left to do.
I'm going to go for a swim.
And yes, it was to go for a swim. I'm not sure what else you were thinking. And the second pool they had was around the back of the hotel, and this was equally as impressive as the one at the front. I spent about an hour here getting a bit of exercise in for the day.
Whoa.
The pool was just like getting into a warm bath, and you can tell the standard of a hotel by the maintenance of the facilities. And this was obviously a good standard because it was well maintained. And because there was some building works going on at the hotel, they offered free tea and coffee, which was a nice little touch.
You can't swim, can you?
As day turned to night, we got changed and headed out for the evening to try some of the local food. Taking a tuk-tuk has to be the best way to travel in Cambodia, although they can be quite annoying. They will see you as a meal ticket, and for some reason in their psychology they think that the more they beep and shout tuk-tuk at you, the more likely you are to use the services. The roads out here are not like in Western country, it's organised chaos that seems to work.
Yeah, go.
Despite how it might look, and one thing's for sure, you'll never have to worry about not being able to get a lift in this place. This is some of the local fruit which you can pick up for pennies. It's really cheap and fresh with a good selection, and there's literally shops like this on every street, as well as restaurants offering the different types of grilled and barbecue foods. And of course, no trip is complete for us without picking up some supplies to take back to the hotel from the local shop, which in this instance was the Big C. I always like to do a bit of a price comparison to see if things are cheaper or more expensive than back in my home country, and I'll do that here too, starting with this big bag of Haribo sweets, which in Cambodia costs you 5,000 real, and I'll convert that into the different currencies on the screen. And this pink Colgate toothbrush will cost you 2,100 real. Again, the prices are on the screen. And this premium distilled on-off bottle of vodka will cost you 20,100 real. And you can also use that to fill up the tuk-tuk because it's just like rocket fuel. I have got a little bit of a sweet tooth and am partial to the odd bag of M&Ms. Other brands of chocolate are available.
I think this is the Cambodian equivalent of M&M's nips. So wait to carry that.
Always a gentleman. And snacks sorted, it was time to go for a bite to eat. And on our way back to the hotel we found this restaurant, and I don't think we could have got any more local if we'd tried.
Thought you were Cambodian. She looks a little bit Cambodian, don't you?
Look like yes, I'm from Thailand.
The staff thinking that Fang was one of their own, although looking at me like I was from another planet, made me think that this restaurant mustn't be very popular for Western tourists like myself, and looking at the menu I could see why. I'm all in for trying new things, but sometimes better safe than sorry, especially when you're dealing with raw fish. I didn't want to be on the toilet for our big day tomorrow.
What have we got?
So I played it safe and got some fried rice. Fang, on the other hand, tried some of the local delicacies, and she can explain a little bit more about that now.
What is it?
This is prawn, fresh prawn.
You mean raw prawn?
Yeah, raw prawn.
With what?
With a vegetable. This one, bitter.
Bitter. Sticking with rice.
Fried rice.
The cost for that meal and drinks was 52,000 real, or $12.62. And I hope this has given you an idea of what you can expect when visiting Cambodia. Although there's much more to do in this country than we can show you in one day. We would love you to carry on the journey with us through Cambodia, and you can do that just by clicking on this next video.
What do you say? So this is where Savon's, is it Savon? I think he's called Savon's, picking us up in the morning. 9 o'clock. So it's been quite a long day. We've been up since 4:30 this morning. We're both a little bit tired now, so go back to the hotel and get a good night's sleep. And we shall see you in the morning.